Good morning, living waters. I hope you're happy. That's what we're after. We want happiness in our lives, fulfillment, purpose. This makes us happy. And I hope that each day you're writing down what it is that makes you happy. And thinking about these things, praying to God about these things, as we continue to look at texts that relate to this theme of pursuit of happiness. Not my phrase, someone came up with that one. Anyway, speaking of nations, I turn to Psalm 144, a prayer for national deliverance and security. Could have used this for the 4th of July sermon coffee videos, but I like it better for this. Because it talks about the relationship between us and God, and our joy that comes. Our joy comes through the fulfillment of our labors, or I would say Lutheran word, vocations. About the relationship we have with God and singing to God and praying to God and the connections that we have, that brings us joy. And observing nature, like verse 5 and through 7 there, talking about the lands and the powers of nature, lightning and smoke and all that fun stuff, right? There's all of these images of God being a fortress. Oh, mighty fortress is our God. A rock, a deliverer, a refuge. Again, these are all ways that we interact with our God. And thus, the end of Psalm 144 wraps up all these faith claims I just listed. I know there's a lot to chew on. Happy are the people to whom such blessings fall. Happy are the people whose God is the Lord. It's actually a simple statement, but yet quite profound. There's a lot of faith statements, actually. Our relationship with God brings us joy. Everything that God has provided us can bring us joy. The things that God gets us through. Right? It's funny, we have so many celebrations where we look back at something. Birthdays, you look back to the day you were born. Anniversaries, the day you were married, right? Commemorations, looking back at important events. Right? There's so much of looking back and remembering of where we've come from, where we've been since. Yeah, that's true with God too. We look back and see what God has done in our lives, and it brings us joy. Right? In the ways that God has been our refuge, and our rock, and our fortress, and our guide, in the ways that God's been present in our vocations, and all the things we're talking about in nature. Right? That finding joy is not some great mystery. Right? It's all over Scripture. The more we connect with our God, the more we're connected as a community together, the more joy will be present in our lives. I wish to say it was more complex than that, but it's not. It's really quite simple. And it's an age-old question. People have always wanted to be happy, and God provides it. So how do we get that message out? We sing to the Lord in passages like these and sharing the grace of Christ. More to come on that in the coming weeks. But for now, whatever the things are on your list that you are looking at that bring you joy, focus on those things. See where God is present in them. All right. See you tomorrow. Let's keep this week rolling.